Well, good morning everyone. I'm very happy to see you here today, and whoever came here today, I think they're looking forward to see the future, to feel more better with themselves and to be safe for any event that can happen. And today I brought a nice panel with us, and each one of them, they really get involved with different topics. It can be let's say like Captain Scott is with CERT and he will talk about it. Linda Bruens, she's very good at mapping your neighborhood. She will tell you how to process that. And also Tom for communication. We have Bill Hopkins, we've got another Hills Neighborhood Council, and there's a little bit an error on the typo because I wrote Northridge. Bill has been very involved to put a fair every year. I think we're going to the 7 years. By Balboa and Devonshire, we always have a big fair. And Lisa, she's our guru about how to preserve food and water. And we're looking forward to hear her out also. And we have Pat. Is with the Battalion 15, is with CERT, and he will talk about what exactly it means for to be in the Battalion 15 and what we're looking for. And also we have Tanya Oronos, she's with the Mitch Englander office, the consultant office. Thank you. And we have here Helia, she's the director of the school, community school, and she's very nice to give us the venue to be able to do the meeting today. And me, I'm Lucy Voletsky. I will let you know a little bit about my background and why I'm doing that today. Well, I came here in 1984. Everybody asks me, you have an accent, where are you coming from? I'm from Montreal, I'm French Canadian. I've been involved in the community after a few years when my kids started to go to school. I've been in the PTA, so many different venues. I can learn what's going on in Chatsworth. But my main concern, and also I've been in business for 30 years, and I'm involved with the Neighborhood Council, I'm in the Chatsworth Chamber, name it, where I can be, I love to be, I like to know my people, and it's very important to get involved in your community. Now, why I decided to start to do emergency preparedness in Chatsworth? In 2008, of course, I've been in touch with the earthquake. You know, the first earthquake, I really feel it was my daughter. I got up in the middle of the night to pick up a bottle of milk, and the refrigerator started to shake in my hand. I said, oh my God, what's going on? What's going on? And until I realized it was an earthquake, it was my first time I realized it was like almost 27 years ago. And my biggest one, it was in 1994 also, and like everybody remember that. But what made me realize why I should do that, in 2008, I was sitting at my house and we had a train crash. And where it was just behind my backyard, and I see how the firemen and name it to come in the rescue for that. And of course for me, I didn't want to go to the premises and see what's going on because I know people that were there to help them and everything was served very well. But I was talking with a lady, cry and sobbing, and she said, my husband is on the train, I have nobody to talk to, what should I do? I didn't know what to do. I'm from the Neighborhood Council, I'm the Chatsworth Chamber, whatever, but no communication. We don't know what to do. Then at that point I said, where is the shelter? Do we have a shelter in Chatsworth? Because I knew if I would take her to the shelter, at that point then she can have maybe some answer or an hour or two, whatever it is, but I can take her somewhere. I didn't have no idea whatsoever. Then couple of weeks after passed, then the fact I'm with the neighborhood council and my committee is the transportation and safety, I said I think I should start to focus more on safety, and this is how I decided. And with time, with John Brewery and a group of other people, we started to work on a project called OK Health Sign. And after a while, pretty much I finished the project by myself. You know, people kind of go a different way, but it's all okay. The main purpose is to finish a product. When you start something, to finish it, and I'm very proud I did. Then what I did finish is the health and OK Health Sign, and after maybe 6 months to a year, I believe, the councilman office, Mitch Englander, adopted the idea, and he brought this idea to do an aftershock. Can you open it for me, please? Then you see you have the instruction what you do after an event, you know, what you do after. Then you have the OK Health Sign. But what that means is OK Health Sign, it's to help you to know if you are okay, then you put this in your window. But if you need help, then you put this on your window. Then instead people come to knock at your door, are you okay? You know perfectly this is an emergency. You don't want people come to knock at your door. They want them to pass through and go to take care of other people. Then this was the idea to start the OK Health Sign. And of course, Tanya, she'll be here. She will talk a little bit more about it a little bit later on. Then this is what we'll start today. Today is our kickoff of emergency preparedness in Chatsworth. Doesn't mean we cannot reach other people, our neighbor. Everything what we're learning today, what we're going to learn, please pass it through to people. I think it's very, very important. Just another idea I want to give you. What happened a couple of weeks ago in West Virginia? The water had been contaminated. How many days people didn't have water? And it doesn't have to be an earthquake. It can be anything. You go to vacation, you go through a tsunami. Who knows? Then this is what along the way in Chatsworth, what I'm going to coordinate every month, a different topic we will bring in to educate the people what to do in case of a different event. Then that will not just be about earthquake, that will be more than that. Then I'm looking forward to hear the panel to talk. But first, and in the end, if you have any questions, we will answer all your questions, wherever you want to address that. Now, I would like to present again Celia. She's the lady of this school. She's the coordinator. Development. Oh, I'm so bad at it, but forgive me. But this is Celia. I let her to talk to you a little bit because I think it's a very important thing to let us use the venue. And I want to give her the opportunity to talk about. Thank you.
Good morning and welcome to our community school. We are really proud and happy to open the doors to this event, and I believe we're going to be doing it monthly here, and I'm sure Lucy will let you know the dates on that. I just wanted to let you know and introduce our Director of Operations, Alma Hernandez. Our community school is and Beth Wilsbauer is our assistant principal. Our community school is a K-8 charter school, public charter school, and our mission is to guide our children to be empowered, ethical, and informed citizens of our community, and therefore every community. So we're very involved in the community, both on campus and off campus, with community service events and different volunteer opportunities. So I would also like to welcome each and every one of you to our community breakfast. They're 4 times a year. It's a complimentary breakfast, and it's an opportunity for our community to come on campus and see what we're all about. Our student ambassadors, which we have one here today, Erin Maxwell, they host the breakfast and they talk about the school and they give you a nice school tour, and it's just an opportunity to build community one breakfast at a time. So our next one is coming up on February 20th. It's 7:45 to 9:15. So grab a postcard and RSVP. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Elia. Now we'll proceed. We talk to Captain Kit Scott. is with CERT, and of course is Billy have the fire department. I try to sometimes to short things, it does not always work for me, but it's all good. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I didn't borrow the uniform, it's actually mine. I would first like to say thank you to Lucy and to the entire panel for kicking this off. This is a tremendous opportunity for everyone to learn about disaster preparedness. And the people you have up here are the best in the business. They absolutely are. I've been privileged to work with them since September when I started with the CERT program for the fire department. Before we start about the CERT program, I want to remind everybody, I think I have to, what happened here 20 years ago yesterday. It was one of the most devastating earthquakes to hit the San Fernando Valley. 60 people were killed. We had more than 7,000 people that were injured. 20 to 40,000 people were homeless. The LA City Fire Department is the best in the world. There's no doubt about that. I don't care who you ask. But in a major disaster, such as the earthquake, we're not going to be there. As an example, the Northridge Meadows, everyone knows what happened over there. All of our resources went to the Northridge Meadows, as it should. We called companies from over the hill to try to respond to the other emergencies that were going on in the valley, but we couldn't reach everybody. There just isn't enough people. Especially today with the budget crunches that we have, we're running on a limited manpower shortage. Like I would say shortage because they've cut the fire trucks and fire engines from a number of the stations, as you probably heard over the last number of years. That's just economic times. So we are able to handle the day-to-day activities, but when an emergency like that hits, and it doesn't have to be an earthquake, it can be a brush fire, the brush fire that they had in Glendora, did you see that on TV? It wasn't the fire itself that's going to put a lot of people in danger. Did you see what the smoke did? Did you see how far the smoke traveled down and it banked down? That's going to affect a lot of people's breathing, which is going to cause more people to call 911. It will very quickly overtax the system. In 1984, we had a battalion chief, Frank Borden, that saw this. Excuse me. Anybody else having a cold and flu this time of year? And allergies, especially with the winds. He saw this and wanted to make a change, wanted to try to help the citizens. So he came up with the CERT program. He traveled to Japan, saw how they handled emergencies. He also traveled to Mexico and he saw how poorly they handled, and he came back and he developed the CERT program. The CERT program is free of charge. It is provided by the fire department, and it provides for the community a way to sustain yourself when emergency services are not going to be available to you. And if you talk to all the experts, they tell you that you should be self-sufficient for 3 to 5 days. That is a long time. And if you talk to any of our expert panels, they'll tell you that you should provide for food and water for at least 5 to 7 days. That's an awful long time. We plan to be there before then, so we'll tell you that we want you to have the provisions to last yourself for 3 to 5 days. The CERT program is a 17.5-hour course. It is usually taught one night a week for 2.5 hours for 7 weeks. That way you can plan ahead for it and it doesn't take too much time out of your week. But we do teach you a lot of good stuff. We teach you earthquake awareness. We'll also cover disaster fire prevention techniques and fire suppression techniques. We also teach you disaster medical operations that involve multi-casualty incidents. So we'll teach you how to triage people. Excuse me. We'll also teach you light search and rescue operations, which includes what buildings we can go in, what buildings we shouldn't go in. We'll also teach you the team organization and disaster psychology. And a lot of people forget what happens to us when we see major incidents or involved in major incidents like this. So we will cover the psychological end of it, which is very, very important. We'll also cover some terrorism and homeland security issues too. Do we have any CERT-trained people in here? Oh, look at this. Other than the panel, I knew the panel was. I'm speaking to the choir. Did you see on the Glendora fire, did you happen to watch Channel 5? I caught a little bit of it in the morning, and they showed one of the command posts that was out on the street. They had a big map on the side of the rig. Anybody happen to see that? Well, if you did, you could hear some of the jargon going on. They were using incident command structure jargon. And for anybody that's been through the CERT course, I was excited because I knew that everybody knew what they were talking about. Because that's what we'll teach you. We'll teach you the same incident command system that we use in the fire department. And why is that important? Well, because the CERT program not only teaches the individual, and in fact the CERT program is basically three-pronged. It teaches the individual how to prepare and how to survive in a disaster. It also teaches you how to prepare and how to survive for your family. And it goes a step further, and it teaches you how to work within your community, in your neighborhood, to assist each other in the event of a disaster. Now, why is it, and also too, once we teach you how to work in the community, then you have the opportunity to train to CERT 2 and 3 levels, which is an advanced first aid level. And then you have the opportunity to work with the fire department for some of the major emergencies. I know during the train wreck there was a number of CERT people up there that helped out in the areas that the fire department is not normally going to address. And those areas usually are the people that Lucy was talking about. We'll take care and we'll be overwhelmed with all the major portion of the incident, the search and rescue, the handling of the people that are injured. But what about the walking wounded? Walking wounded we will deal with, but we'll deal with in a different area. We won't have as many people over there helping them. This is exactly where the CERT people and you folks can come in to help us out on major emergencies. And like I said, it doesn't have to be an earthquake, it doesn't have to be a brush fire, it can be the train wreck. You can use any imagination you possibly want to, and you've lived here long enough to know that Southern California has a lot of different things that happens to this. Again, the CERT program is 17 and a half hours. It is long, but it teaches you a lot of stuff. If you'd like to sign up for classes, Lucy's going to take care of that for you. And if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them now. I'm just looking at the clock. Yes, ma'am.
Is there any sort of CERT refresher class for those of us who have forgotten half of what we learned?
I know, isn't that something? As a matter of fact, how long has everyone been CERT trained? So I mean, you probably know the old CERT commander, Stacy. Okay, I just came to this unit in September, and that was the first thing I asked too, because people were coming up and asking me. So what we're starting to organize now, and it should be at the end of March, is a refresher course for us. Yes, so keep an eye on the website, and we'll let you know that. Yes, sir.
Hi, does every neighborhood have its own CERT training? For example, Encino, do you have to just find whatever?
Yes, the way it's broken down is, my title is the CERT commander. I have working below me volunteers that are division and battalion coordinators. We have one battalion coordinator for every fire department battalion. What we're starting to do now that wasn't able to be done in the past is we are going even further down to the street level. I am charging my battalion coordinators, and I will set this up for them, to map their neighborhood and gather the CERT members that are in their battalion, divide them into the neighborhood so that we actually have team leaders in the neighborhood.
But to actually take the course, does each neighborhood have a course offering or not necessarily?
No, usually you can find courses through your neighborhood councils.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the best thing. Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry, so isn't it you're asking to have at least 25 people? So anybody can coordinate a class, am I correct?
Yes, anyone
So
can
it's
coordinate a
a
class,
number of
yes.
people, and it's open to anyone who can attend any cert class.
And also, I'm sorry, if you wanted to go to the website, you can publish, you can enter your zip code and it will find the closest class to you.
Yeah.
Because quite often people have the, shall we say, like I travel 25 miles to work every single day.
Yeah.
And so you don't know where you're going to be when the earthquake occurs. And so people may want to take the classes closer to work than they do home. So you have that option.
And then I'd like to say, and that's the wonderful thing about CERT as well, if you miss a class because you have commitments with your children or at work or anything like that, you can make up a class anywhere you want. So like I took my classes in Woodland Hills and then I worked in Century City and I did makeup classes near the office where I was in Century City. So it's very convenient and you just have to get a sign off so you get credit for those classes.
We're done.
They've covered the rest of what I had, which is fabulous, because the more people know, the more they're able to get involved. Yes, I was going to mention everything that they already mentioned. We have a website. It's called cert-la.com, and it gives you the schedule of classes. You can enter your zip code and tell you what the closest class is. And as Lisa mentioned, that you can take a class in different areas. There is a procedure for doing that. You just have to get the okay from your original instructor, things like that, and that's just a tracking thing. It's very, very simple. You have one more question? That was answered, see? This is a great panel. I probably could have sat here. They could have done everything for me. Anyway, thank you very, very much for showing up here. This is a fabulous thing that Lucy's done, and we're going to support her every chance that we get.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you very much, yeah, that sounds good. As far as the CERT class, we have one starting in March, the first Monday of the month. It will be for 7 weeks consecutive or something like that. I do believe it's March 1st.
March 3rd.
March 3rd.
March 3rd, I'm sorry, forgive me. Yeah.
And
March.
where will it be?
Pardon me?
Where will it be held?
That will be in a community place on Lindsay Hall. I was not ready for this one. I will let you know a little bit later on. I will get ready for that one. Yeah, it will be on the website. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, Captain Scott, again, and enjoy your beautiful day.
Yes, thank you. I
Thank
have
you.
another event I need to go to.
Thank you.